Yes, guys, welcome back to Kings of the Bridge. How are you doing? Hope you're well. Big up every single one of you in the building. Smash the like buttons, run it up in here for us, guys. I'd massively appreciate it if you could do that. Ultimately, we don't like talking at the end of a loss. Don't get me wrong. And I get people can't be asked to talk about things, and a lot of the energy was yesterday. But today we're here to talk about partly about the game, but ultimately about everything. Really like the overview about things and stuff as well. As usual, Twitter doesn't seem to amaze me anymore. You've got certain individuals on there that are absolute bellends. I'm going to be honest with you, that just live in their own worlds of agendas throughout the season. And there's others that are, the majority, I would say, are all on page. And that's a big thing. We've done a big space yesterday, nearly 2,000 people in there. And it was a really good conversation. We really sort of shared the same thoughts and stuff like that. And I think it's important that we have that discussion here now and talk about what we've seen, where we are, what we are, and the memes that are flying around everywhere, whether it's Rafinha, with the little comment that he said about respect the ball, or if it's people doing circles around people now, like we do, and getting results like that. 8-2 is a humiliation. And we're going to get into that absolute humiliation in a minute. Matt, how are you, mate? What's been happening?
Yeah, I think like everyone else, very flat, very, very flat now. I think, like I said to you before, I think yesterday really kind of put the real big nail in the coffin for me in terms of, I think, how we've all felt for a long time. And I think now, hopefully, there'll be, I think, as you're alluding to, a real general consensus of what direction we need to go. There are some idiots who are just doing things just to say the opposites for the sake of it. I won't say any names. We all know who these people are. But the general consensus of everyone else is that we are all on the same page. But it's just, I don't know whether things will change. It's just, I think that's why everyone is at this point now, because I think there's been so many signs that things need to change. And I do really feel now that we are in another period of a Potter version 2, but I think this is almost worse than Potter version 2, because let's be honest, when Potter took the reins, everything was everywhere. These guys have been in there for a bit of time now, so that kind of period isn't there. So
Sparkle, I'll be honest with you, I was on Robert last night with his comments. Me and him were going backwards and forwards in this group chat, one of the group chats I'm in, and we were going back and forwards about his comments and whatever. His view on it is that because Malo Gusto wasn't playing, it's a big reason why we lost. Malo Gusto and injuries, but I'm not even going to get into it because Robert, he could get relegated and he'd still tell us we've got to stay positive, and that's just how some people are. Some people, and this is the thing about football, we all have our own opinions, we all look at things differently, we all diverse things and whatever. But there's two differences for me, and this is where what I can't understand with especially Chelsea fans in our world. I'm not talking about other worlds of fans. I'm talking about the Chelsea world of fans. Is that you've got the logical understanding, breaking down, the reasonings and the general consensus of where we are and what we are, and then you've got the others that live in their little bubbles that just, instead of talking about what's important, talk about various other things because emotionally they're attached to something. Yeah, that just takes over them. It means more to them and to have an emotional agenda about Caicedo, Enzo, fucking this one, that one, than it is talking about the overall issues that we have at the club and where it starts at the top. And this is the problem that we have. And this is why I find it hard to go on Twitter anymore. I'll go on there, do a space and whatever. But some of the tweets I read from people, there's like, if you put them on here, if they come on here and you said to them, right, come on, negative, you're negative on this, that, and the other, or you're negative about this person, break it down, explain why you feel like that. Half of them would just say the same bullshit, nonsensical thing. Like there's no sense to what they're saying. I'm not saying ignore what people are saying, but ultimately, I think people's energies, what my point is, people's energies are in the wrong, are not where they should be. The energies that we should be having now after a humiliation like we had last night is around the whole club, the players as well, all of them, the manager, all of them. We should be talking about it. Not it's his fault, fuck him, get him out, this one, that one. Do you know what I mean? Which is what this ball does. I mean, this fan base does. They're just weirdos. Like I find them fucking weird. Toby, big up to you. He says time to boycott matches, kits, and everything. And this is what we were talking about yesterday on the space.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about protests, and I know there's one coming up, and I'm really interested to see how they're going to organise it. How is it going to be? What's the plan behind it? Because I stick by what I say when it comes to protesting now. If it's not as big as the Super League protest, where you've got that many people on side, or match-going fans are not going to games and they're standing outside and singing, shouting, Egg Barley out and Clear Lake out and whatever, to make a point, then nothing will change. Nothing's going to change. It just won't. Yeah, so we can sit here doing all these little mini protests, half of people standing there going Egg Barley out outside, while all these other people that are match-going fans just walk past you, go into the mega store, buy a kit, and go upstairs and then sit down. Like, it's like, how serious is it to you? Is my thing. Some people, maybe football's just not as serious, even though they've got a season ticket. Yeah, Chelsea good, Chelsea bad. It is what it is. I go, it's a day out. I get away from the family, or I go out with the boys, or do you know what I mean? Like, it's that.
I think you're totally right there, mate. I think some people, and I think that's what you said in your spaces yesterday, is that it's escapism for people, and I think it's what is difficult. A lot of us fans, we are so passionate about every intricacy of this club, but some people literally are just doing it, like you said. Things might be really shit at home, or they just need to get away from the family. They need to go and have a few drinks with the boys, and then just go and do whatever. Some people just don't see it in that way. Yeah, big up, Chris.
You said in the link you did want to join as well, so you can
get no, I think he said it to me as well. So,
send it to him. Apparently we are spoiled when it's old. Yeah, go on, mate.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, I think the state of just fans in general. I mean, I'm sure we'll go into a little bit about the game, but I was seeing shots at the end where the stadium was empty. You're seeing people with their scarves taking a picture at the end, and you're like, I just don't think it's a mass exodus. Yes, it might work, but when has this ever worked? Ever? United stormed the pitch and stopped a game from being played. They actually stormed the pitch and somehow got in and stopped a game. Nothing happened. United have done many of these sort of protests, and I don't think there's ever been a point where there's been massive change. I think the only way there is going to be change is if it's internal change by them themselves who do it. Because I just think whatever we're going to do, it's not going to make a difference.
I'm just trying to understand. Obviously, we'll break it down a bit more in a minute, guys. But I'm just trying to understand this tweet from Matt Law that I brought out earlier on today. It says Chelsea owners are proud of the fact that they have never sold a player they did not want to, including Colwill, but their resolve over the likes of Fernandez, Cohen, Caicedo, all-star players they sign, has never been tested.
Yeah, no shit they've not been tested, because you put them in ridiculous contracts. No one is going to be spending 115 million on Enzo Fernandez. Not saying that he's not worth that, but no one has that money to do it. Same with Cole Palmer. You're going to have to spend over 100 million. Same with Caicedo. Teams don't have that level of equity anymore to do these sort of transfers. So the only way I do see any of them ever leaving is that they literally make transfer requests, something like that.
Yeah, and listen, it might be tested this summer, and one of the players, and do you know what? I'm just going to get into this bit first, and then we can talk about the game, because I'm going to keep this short and sweet anyway. One of the players that's been getting, as usual, when we lose, absolute scrutiny for comments, because he was the captain of the game against PSG on the night, was Enzo Fernandez, and obviously he had this interview with the Argentinian reporters, and there's been so many different versions of this report that people are bringing out. And again, I'll go back to the agenda, guys. And the media. The one thing you've got to learn about this media, guys, is how they operate when it comes to Chelsea. And with certain specific players, with certain the Cole Palmers is in this as well. It's not just Enzo. The Cole Palmers and this that you remember the stories around Cole Palmer and Manchester United. Oh, he's going to go back to Manchester United. Oh, he loves them. He's friends. He has to travel to Manchester to see his friends. He's going to go back to Manchester. Yeah, they always find a way to pull out the best players at Chelsea to create news around these players. And I don't care if anyone says, and I know it come out with a short statement, a very, very short statement, which made it look like as if Enzo was basically saying, I don't know if I want to be here and I might go in the summer. But ultimately, that was never said. And I spent this morning watching the actual full article and breaking it down and getting a translation on it. And there's also someone that's done the exact same thing here about what was said after the game from him. Yeah, because I'm really shocked by the waves people have been going, the lengths people have going after watching that game with the energy that we have. I am shocked that some people's, I'm not talking about everyone, some people's energies has been more focused on this than what we just saw an hour before that or 2 hours before that in that game, whilst Egbali and Bowley were up there. But ultimately, this is what was said on the defeat itself. He says, I think we failed to control the game. In the first leg, we lost focus in the first 15 minutes and conceded 3 goals. And here, second leg, it happened right at the beginning. At this level, you can't concede goals so quickly from small details over the 2 legs. PSG were a better team and they deserve to go through. Is he lying? I don't think he's lying. He's talking sense. Then he says on whether the team can still turn the season around. He says, since I've arrived at Chelsea, we've been through similar situations and we've managed to turn them around. Oh, that's so negative, man. Get him out. Get him out of the club, man. Do you know what I mean? So he's answered that. And then they asked him on his future at the club. And he responded, my future at the club? I don't know. Right now, I'm focused on Chelsea. After the World Cup, Club World Cup, we'll see. The only thing for now is to support my teammates. There are still 8 Premier League games left and we're still alive in the FA Cup. We can turn this situation around. Our focus now has to be winning the FA Cup and qualifying for the Champions League next season. Why has that been taken out of context so much? What was so
narrative? It's a narrative that Chelsea are in turmoil. Their big stars are about to leave. And that's what journalism is now. They take snippets, create engagement, create clicks.
No.
It's a huge statement to say Chelsea's biggest star says he's going to leave or we'll see. And that's all they'll take from that. All I will say is the uproar from people is out of fear. That's why, because they know if one goes, they will all start going. So for them to say, oh, fuck this, fuck that, oh, I don't want to make the club anyways, it's not an insecurity from anyone, but it's just fear. And I get it. It's worrying if it does happen. But like we all know, do you blame him if he does go? No. We have not done anything to back him as a player, really. So
but my point is this: he hasn't physically come out and said, "I'm going," or "Yeah, I'm going to start looking." Wasn't that. I get just a GT saying his answer should have been, "I'm not going anywhere." Why? Why should his answer have been, "I'm not going anywhere"? This is not Reece James. This is not Cobham Boys. Why should he have to sit there and go, "I'm staying here"? Maybe that is in his mind. Maybe that still is in his mind. But ultimately, it was a very short sentence that then ended, if you read it again, if you read the end of the actual comment, that goes on saying, my only focus is on Chelsea and the World Cup. The only thing for now to support my teammates, and still, he says there are still 8 Premier League games left and we're still alive in the FA Cup. Is that not someone just paying attention with what he's got in front of him and saying we've still got a job to do? We've still got an FA Cup to win. We've still got to get Champions League football, and he's still got World Cup. He's right, like he's literally, on the back of a short sentence. This is what I've got. This is what I've got coming up. I don't get it. I generally don't. I don't understand the whole. He said he's leaving.
Could be is the we'll see. I think that's what's probably because it's not. I think what GT's maybe alluding to is that, you would answer it in a certain way. I think the fact that he's left the door open by saying we'll see, that's just opened a massive.
Yeah, but it's not even even that's stupid. I'll tell you why again. Because it's out of his control. Yes, he's partly to got to say, yes, I want to leave. But number one, there's a number of things that's got to happen. We've got to get the money for him. The club might want to sell him. We don't know, just to make money on him, if there is an interest in that. So there's a number of various things around Enzo Fernandez, and not just him, by the way, Caicedo, Cole Palmer, all of these players that we've got, where there's unknown answers. How can he answer a question if he knows he's going to be here or not? I don't know. I'd be the same. I'd be like, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. All I know is I've got a job to do. I've got to get this club into Champions League. I've got to get this, we've got to win this FA Cup and we've got to get on with it. Again, I don't think he didn't rule it out, Jem. That's the problem. Again, I must be looking at things different to you guys. I generally, I must be looking at things different. There's nothing there that says he's going to leave. Your arguments here are he wants to leave or he's going to leave. He hasn't said he's going to leave. He said he doesn't know. All he knows right now is he's trying to focus on what's just happened. You've got to bear in mind, the guy's just come out of an 8-2 loss. As much as we're pissed off, I'm sure he's fucking annoyed having to play in that and captain that team to a loss like that. It's like, you know, I don't think it's that deep. I'm not being emotional. I don't think it's that serious. That's the funny thing. That's why I'm bringing it up. Yeah, you're being emotional. Just accept he's leaving. He can't say it publicly, but then that's you saying because of what he said, he's going to leave. That's my point. This is the type of people I'm talking about. You's already painting that he's going to leave, which is fine. If you think he's going to leave on the back of that comment, that's cool. All I'm saying is read the interview properly. Read what he said before. Like, it's not like, yeah, I don't know what's going on. I don't know, you know, and then left it there, like as if he don't care about the club. You know what makes me laugh? There's worse things going on. Because when I see Wesley Fofana sitting there at the end laughing with Dembele, yeah, I had a headache and I didn't play in the game after our third goal. We could see the third goal and man sitting there laughing. Like, come on, what's worse? The guy sitting there laughing or the guy on the pitch? Like, come on, man. Like, at the end of the day, guys, I will say one more thing in it and we're going to talk about the game. If he goes, I don't blame him. Yeah, you can all be upset with him. That's your choice. My thing is this. If he goes, we failed him. We failed him anyway because he, again, was brought onto this team. And like Caicedo, like Palmer and everything else, by this stupid board who said they were going to back this team and haven't done it. That's it, you know? And that's just the where I stand with it. It's just, it's not that I'm angry, Ange. It's about the fact that so many idiots on Twitter, yeah, so many idiots on Twitter will use this. I've been waiting for this day to use this to make it look like, oh, he's this, he's that, he's not loyal. Fuck him off. Cool, man. Cool. Like it's just the way people view things. But again, I can't tell you how to view a comment. If you feel that that's him leaving the door open, cool. I just see it as we got to get on with it. Got shit to get on with. We've got World Cup, we've got Champions League, we've got FA Cup, we've got football to play. Do you know what I mean? So it's I don't pay too much attention to it unless he physically said, "Are you? What's your future like? Are you going to be here next season?" I don't know. Probably not. This could be my, like physically saying I'm not going to be here. Do you know what I mean? So we'll see. But ultimately, I don't blame him if he does. If he won't go anywhere because he's on death row. So unless someone comes in and gives him this money, where is he going? Where's he going? Can anyone explain to me where he's going?
The only team I can see or financially is Saudi at the moment. But
yeah, this annoys me more, and this is where our energy should be going. I didn't want to pay too much attention to this. I'm glad we haven't. It's been about 5 minutes of me talking about it. Yeah, and ultimately, I hear what you were saying about maybe he could have just said, "I'm here. I'm part of the club." I get it. Yeah, you want him to be more loyal towards the club and just say it as it is. I don't think that he's not loyal to the club. He's probably just really pissed off at the moment with everything that's going on around him, especially with the people above. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is a guy that wants to win. You won't keep players like this long at your club because they want to win. They want to win things. So, and that's been proven. For anyone to sit here and say that ain't been proven is crazy. But anyway, going back to the game. Exactly, and it's not this again. Things can change very quickly. If we win an FA Cup, we get Champions League, and then the big question next is what summer window do we have of the fourth summer window under these lot? Do they manage this? Does he stay another season? Does Palmer stay another season? This is not just about Enzo. This is about all of our best players, right, Matt? It's not just strictly him that I'm worried about. But it does worry me that if they do, one of them leaves, that there might be a knock-on effect of everyone else just going out the door. This is what worries me.
Yeah.
That's my worry.
I said to you before, though, mate. I think that's where it's fear out of people, and they're taking it out on Enzo because they are worried that the inevitable will happen. That once one does it, it will trickle, and then we're all really concerned about then what is going to happen. The only interesting transfer news I'm interested in is whether Wynne Stewart aren't going to be here in the summer, and Egbali. That's why I'm interested in.
Of course they are. They're going to be spinning around Pies tweet, is it? We'll have a look at it in a second. Yeah, but then that means, you know, we're only going down and not going up, and then their project's just going to continue to fail, and that's where we're going to be going next of it as well. Listen, I'm not saying he won't go. I have been saying, Matt have been saying, if the money is right, I can see them selling him, or him just going, I want to go. Because ultimately, even before he came to this club, or the first season he came to his club, I said, this guy won't be here for long. We've got to start winning things with this guy. He will go on because he wants to go and win things. I don't blame him. Reece James, by the way, who GT just mentioned, yeah, and this is what makes me laugh about this fan base, yeah, signs a contract, yeah, and says he's back in the project, yeah, and all over Twitter, you've got people going, Reece James, back in the project. He's an idiot. He's deluded. He's full. He's backing him. You can't fucking win. You can't win. You can't win. I'm telling you.
You're recently the club now.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? It's hilarious. All right, let's talk about the game and everything else in and around it, shall we? Let me quickly have a look at Pies' tweet. What's he quickly saying? Liam Rossini maintains a good relationship with those upstairs. Okay, I might as well bring this up then, isn't it? Because it's where we're going, partly to do with the game. This is what I'm saying to you guys. This is what I said to you. You can't pay attention to these motherfuckers. They'll make, you know, they're going to make as much noise as they possibly can. I've seen it so many times. They will use players that are easy to use because they can see it all over media. They've done it with Cole Palmer. They'll do it with Enzo Fernandez. They didn't do it with Reece James because they know Reece James is just, you know, it's just stupid. He ain't going anywhere. But, you know, next it'll be Caicedo. Then it'll be Cucurella. And then all of a sudden, you might get Colwell back and he might want to leave. Do you know what I mean? Liam Rossini proves he is out of his depth after humiliating loss. Liam Rossini maintains a good relationship with these upstairs. It is not the case that Chelsea are already losing patience with him. Oh, so they're backing him is the answer in that one then. There you go. Their fucking manager, innit? Their manager. We got DJ. Here we go. And this is what I keep saying to you about these briefs, whether it's fucking this one, that one, whatever. They're always trying and put the blame on players or manager, individuals. Yeah. When the bigger problem is higher. It's higher than that. You know, we've not even started talking about the game, have we, really? What is there to talk about this game? How do we even start? I'll tell you what, I'll sum it up in 2 minutes and Matt can just geek and crack on, yeah? Let me sum it up to you. Humiliation, wankers, yeah? Pricks, yeah? That's every swear word in the world that you want to put together, put it in a bulk, yeah? And throw it at Igbali and fucking Todd Bowley above them, yeah? Because that's where it deserves to go, yeah? Because yesterday, yeah, the energy should only have strictly been on the two Chuckle brothers watching that game, yeah? Because that performance under that manager with them players was a representation of our owners and how they run this club. So the shambles that you guys saw on the pitch, which is where all this energy should have come, which is where my annoyance comes. This is where the energy should be going this way, not over that way or that way, this way, yeah? Should be annoyed with how these owners think that internal solutions is your answer, yeah? Mamadou Sarr, thank you, yeah? Not even just blaming him, but he's, you know, for the first goal, we'll talk about in a second. Internal solutions. And then when you look at our bench in a round of 16 of the Champions League against PSG, yeah, and you see Sharman Lowe, McQueen, you know, Maheka, all these guys, young, you've got 4 or 5 young players on the bench with just Esteval, Delap, Garnett. This is our club. This is what this is their idea. This is their project. This is their philosophy. This is what it was. And we got manhandled yesterday. We got abused. We didn't get nowhere near them. I was embarrassed to be a Chelsea fan yesterday. I have never in my fucking 36 years of watching this football club, and I've seen it all. I was blessed to have seen Mourinho's, the Ancelotti's, the Conte's, the Sarri's, all of these lot, all the way through to now. I have never, ever, ever witnessed, yeah, as bad of a Champions League home performance at my club than the one that I saw there. That is how big the gap was. I actually went in, as you saw yesterday, Matt, with a bit of false hope. We could probably get one or two goals, and we get one or two goals here. But you know what? Yesterday actually just proved how far off we are as a football club from the likes of PSG, the likes of the clubs that are around us. We won the Club World Cup, and that was a big mirror. Do you know why we won that Club World Cup? Maresca. Maresca won Chelsea that Club World Cup. The players were good. The good players were good. And the ones that are average were at a level. But Maresca won us that game, that Club World Cup. Yeah. Because he could set up against the bigger teams, as we already know. He could get wins against them. Yeah. He could. Do you think he would have lost 8-2 to Luis Enrique at home, at the bridge? Generally. And this is why when I was in Dubai and we got Rosinha here, and I think I had a couple of drinks that day, and we sat and done a live with Carlito and Benji, who were telling me how good this fucking guy is, philosopher. Yeah, I said to him, I'm telling you now, mark the day that when I sit here right now and we have this discussion about how bad he is because he's not ready, my energy is not going on him. It really ain't. You can blame him for putting a player there or playing that player or playing in this formation or whatever. But guess what? He shouldn't have been here in the first place. Why did we sack Maresca, who was still in 4 competitions in January, to then go to a guy that's not even got one big club on his resume, not even won anything, yeah? And he's just not ready. He was just doing his thing at Strasbourg. Why did we make that jump? It was only going to fall off a cliff because he's going to make mistakes. And that's what I was telling everyone. He's going to make mistakes. Unfortunately, the mistakes he's made.
And Jem seems to have cut off there. So, anyways, I think what Jem was alluding to there was that we can't put any pressure or have any expectations on Liam because there wasn't any there in the first place. So essentially, the blame isn't on him because he is out of his depth. We all knew that. I felt he was almost forced into the job. Is Jem back? Is Jem back? There he is. He's back.
Sorry, guys. I am frozen anyway. I'm frozen. Yeah, I was frozen. Yeah. The mistakes we made have been detrimental, right? But ultimately, we can moan about Rosinha not being really good. We can moan about certain players not being good enough in this team. Yeah. But ultimately, who put us here? Who put this fucking team together? Who put it together? And everyone goes, be patient. 4th summer window, 5th summer window. Am I here still? Am I gone?
Yeah.
4th summer window, 5th summer window, all these things, yeah? But at this moment in time, as fans, we can only go on what we view. And what we're viewing right now is bullshit. We failed in the 3rd summer window. We bought some good players and didn't back them up in the 3rd window. And then we're moaning about them potentially leaving now.
Yeah. I mean, you said it in one. I think surely, and this is hopium, this isn't me thinking it's going to happen, surely after seeing last night, surely there has to be some sort of internal change now. God, he's got Jem, yeah. But there has to be. I mean, the reason why Maresca left is because he challenged Clear Lake and their ego got damaged. And they didn't like that because they actually got tested. And let's be honest, Maresca had one hand behind his back, somehow got top 4 because Forest had a dip. And we somehow won the Club World Cup. As we all know, that is the moment we should have done something and actioned it properly. When we saw that window we had in the summer, that then should have been raising alarm bells, which we already had anyways, but being the biggest megaphone alarm bell as there could ever be to show what their ambition was. The fact that you spend 90 million on Garnacho and Gittins as your left-hand side, and as you said as well, Jem, that bench last night is a disgrace. It's an absolute disgrace for what they have done to this club, being 1.5 billion or whatever it is. It's just not good. It's just. I just don't think there's any words. I think as a Chelsea fan, I'm 32. Last night to me, I think was possibly the lowest moment as a Chelsea fan, and obviously I was there a little bit with Ranieri, but barring that and maybe Potter at some points, last night to me was, I think, the most sickening I've felt in a long time. And I was saying it to Chris, I said it to you, Jem. I didn't sleep even that much last night, and that's ridiculous to say with football. But I think it's the fact that we literally have no control of anything, and the fact that now, really, we are at the lowest point, and we're getting potentially the stars of our team are coming out, allegedly, or however you want to take that article or whatever. The fact that they're coming out and saying these things now is, I think, raising a massive alarm bells, which we all knew was inevitably going to happen. So unless internal change happens, I think this could get a lot worse, and it could get very messy, because if Rosenior goes, I don't know where else they can go. The only way they can go is lower down in terms of ability. What, they're going to go for Gary O'Neill, who just got relegated? He got pretty much just stayed up with Wolves and then got sacked by them.
Don't mention that name, bro.
Yeah, I saw a tweet saying about him coming in if they get rid of him. That's nonsense. If they do that, they're just going down and down and down. But
I don't think they will. I personally, it's maybe more hopium. I think now, seeing what's happened and being on the big stage, I think there could be not saying drastic change, but I think there could be potential rumblings of change.
How many times are they going to continue trying these inexperienced managers and think they can get away with it with these high targets? Yeah, we'll just bring these inexperienced managers in. You got to get Champions League. Yeah, you've got to win this. You got to do that. And they're probably going, yeah. I mean, why would any ex-manager with not really a big CV say no to a job like Chelsea? A job like Chelsea used to be hard to get. Why is it so easy now? Why have these pricks made it so easy for you to just come in and just run this football club? It's all about the standards for me. Do you know what I mean? Like, there isn't any standards when your manager is getting laughed. Your own manager that's running your club is getting memed by rivals.
It's going to happen every time, Jim. It's going to happen every time, mate. Every time we go through a new manager cycle, it's going to be the same sort of caliber of manager, the ones that are going to see Chelsea as a big aura in lights, and they'll be able to discuss the fees that the club want and not take any demands from what the manager wants. They'll be just yes men. That's what they are, mate. It's going to happen every time.
It's just, I just quickly want to say one thing. We'll go to Chris, and I want Chris to tell us what his thoughts were about everything. But yesterday's game, Mamadou Sarr done us over because he set up Cavaschella to score that goal. But I want to say one thing. Why was Sanchez looking at tits in the fucking crowd? I don't know if you've seen that picture. There's a picture of Sanchez before they took the shot, looking in the crowd like that. No wonder he didn't save it. He should have saved that, by the way. That was
taken out of context, bro.
Yeah, well, what was he looking at? It must have been something. It really had to be something good for him to be looking.
If you watch the clip back, he was quickly checking his near post to make sure where he was. But obviously, he's looked too late. He should have been looking a lot quicker than that. But he probably wasn't expecting Kvaratskhelia to get through like that.
Yeah, he hasn't measured it well, has he? That's the problem. And it's gone under him, and he should have saved it, right? But the goals after that, I don't... When it comes to Chelsea... A lot of the times I say the goals we conceded are our fault, yeah, and we wasn't good yesterday. But their goals that they scored after that were just world class. Barcola's finish, the one after the third one as well, where he just ran onto it and put it top bins. Like, we couldn't do nothing.
That was their first chance in the second half, wasn't it, Jim?
Yeah, I think so. I'll be honest with you, mate. I had it on mute and I switched off. I even done a space 20 minutes at the end of the game. I've never done that.
You did, yeah.
What's the point of sitting here waiting for the end of the game? You know, it was just, it's pointless. Toby says we should just be called Make a Wish FC. Yeah, big up Toby, bro, as always. Thank you. But yeah, you're spot on, Toby. Chris, come on in, mate. Well, let's tell us what's going on. What is going on, man? What is going on?
Well, just before I start, boys, I want to give you a virtual hug because this is tough. This is a grieving day, I think, and I'm just going to turn you around now because I want to show you something. I want to show you my screen if you can see it. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that, but on there we've got Benjamin Mendy. We've got Tommy T, we've got Jorginho and Kante.
Oh, mate, don't do that. That's just going to make us sad.
No, this is where we got to remember who we are. This is our aura. I don't care if we had to pay for them guys, backhanders. That's our aura. That's the level that we want to be at, and that's why we're so upset. So the game last night, I'm going to be brief, and I'm exactly the same as you boys. As soon as that first goal went in the 5 minutes, my eyes were on the screen, but I was gone. I couldn't tell you anything about that game. because my eyes were just gone, and I finished it 20 minutes before the end. I think the 75th minute, and I just come and done a rant. It was difficult, very difficult to watch. There was no leadership, no control, and I think, am I right in saying, boys, if I remember right, we had 3 at the back, which was leaving a 3-on-3. Is that right? Pretty much, I think, because we were pushing up our wing backs and sort of bringing back. So your question at the beginning of the game was where Chalobah's going to go. I think he come back into the middle.
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
I mean, you can't be doing that against PSG. You cannot be doing that against PSG.
Yeah, I don't know what's happened to Jem there. Yeah, but
he's glitched up.
So yeah, I mean, it was the worst start for us really, because we needed to be the ones being almost on the front foot, and immediately we just looked so flat. Like, they were on us immediately, passing the ball around. There was warning signs before that anyways. So, and for that to happen, it just took all the interest of me out the game. So why we fucking go? But I thought, look, let's just try and have a bit of pride and perform. At least try and get back into this game, 2-2 or whatever. But we just waved the white flag. No one was interested. No one wanted to be there. Liam with his notepad at 85 minutes, giving Garnacho notes when it's 8-2.
What is he doing? What is he doing?
Know, I think at that point he had the same look which Potter had, which is just complete and utter panic and being lost. He just didn't know what to do. But I think Jem's right, though. This isn't fair to be kind of going in on Liam, because look, he's come in. I think he's probably like, he's never going to not turn down this opportunity.
Of course not.
He'll probably go back to Strasbourg, or he'll go to a championship club and do all right. But I just think what was the real big point for me yesterday was all the glaring holes we had just came straight at us. PSG, by the way, were obviously the model that we were trying to follow as well. They've actually done it in a short amount of time. They've implemented young, exciting talent a lot better than us. What's that? I might have to say, yeah. And they've mixed that with experience. And I don't think that's actually a big ask. It's a very simple way of how football is. You don't play football. And I think, unfortunately, what's happened now with us, and we've all known this, it's been exposed for many seasons now. And I just feel we've hit the lowest of the lowest. And I think the fact that big players are coming out potentially saying that I want to go, maybe, I don't know. It's the fear that I think we've all had. But yeah, anyway.
It was men v boys last night, wasn't it, boys? It was boys v men. And you think that PSG, they ain't the youngest squad, but what they've got in there that the commentators kept alluding to yesterday was experience.
They have experience. They have experience at the back, but ultimately their bench is ridiculous. They're bringing Doué on, we're bringing Delap on. Like what are we doing here? We're bringing Garnacho on. They're bringing on fucking some young, talented guy in midfield, Mayuba, whatever his name is. Comes on and scores. Like, there's always this is my problem with this fucking ball. Yeah, they've done us over. They've forced our best players to feel like this now. Yeah, because all they're doing is just getting shit up. Being on that pitch yesterday, yeah, Enzo, Caicedo, Cucurella, all of our half-decent players, João Pedro, they must have been like, what's the fucking point, generally? Like, what is the point? If I was any of them and I saw my defence, and it's all, I keep saying it defence because it's always our fucking defence, doing stupid shit like that, like we saw in the first, 10 minutes of the game? Just a bad touch rolling behind him, allowing Cavaschella to run on it and pull it in the bottom corner. What do you think it does to our mentality? We don't have leaderships as it is. As enough leaders as it is what I mean. But in terms of what it done to the game, it destroyed everything. Confidence-wise, it was like, fuck me. Do you know what I mean? It's like we can't seem to stop making these mistakes. And then they come out and they go, oh, don't worry, we're all together, we're improving. We'll be better next game, guys. We've got it. And then they go and do it again. And now we've got no Chalobah probably till the end of the season, because he's now.
That looked horrendous, by the way. That looked horrendous.
It was a horrendous tackle. But now it means we've got to sit there and watch Tosin and Badiashile come in, because Numpty with a headache on the bench just wants to sit there laughing. Yeah, cost us 70 million. can't even play more than 2 games. Yeah, like in Fofana. So
yeah, it's not good.
No, it's not good, boys. I think that was a big. I love that they were there last night, Blue Coat. I absolutely love that they were there. They had a front row seat into the housery that they've created, and they could see that. I think, boys. I said earlier as a question, would you take Bowley? I know obviously we want Blue Coat out, but if you had to get rid of one half, would you keep Bowley in?
100%, absolutely. Yeah. I think that with Bowley, there's clear experience. Yes, I know when he came in, it was a bit of a car crash in terms of the transfer. But if you actually think about the kind of acquisitions, Koulibaly, when we all heard we were linked with him, we were so excited for that. Yes, he was a bit erratic, obviously, when he came here. But actually, if you look at that window, it was actually strong. I know maybe Sterling, we were all like all this and that, but it was Prem experience, and we were getting experience of Koulibaly as well. And the fact that he's had a lot of experience with the Dodgers and buying high acquisition players and then putting them on whatever contracts, there's a more of a elite team style owner there. Unfortunately, what's happened when you've got this consortium who have come in, and I don't know whether this was right, but I think in America, in American sports, these sort of consortium-led ownerships aren't actually allowed. I don't know if that's right. I think I saw an article about that yesterday.
Yeah, I think
they
were
were
right,
saying that there's something about American sports clubs aren't actually allowed to have these sort of consortiums in place. So the fact that obviously Bowley was the front of it, it then meant that was their way of coming in. So I don't know. But to answer your question, Chris, 100% I would be, if it was out of the two, and that's my only hope, is that if there's a way of a review to happen and Clearlake go, Eghbali, wherever the other clowns are, you're no longer fit for purpose, and then they try to make kind of Bowley a bit more of the focus. I just don't know. Will it happen? Probably not. But if it's out of anything, it would be Bowley for me, yeah.
I'm not, by the way, anyone in the chat might jump on it. I'm not advocating for any of them to stay at all. I'm clutching at straws to try and look at them as two different people, because obviously there's a divide between them.
I think
I want all that, but
I think
Bowley's.
I think there's a real telling tale when you look at the summer windows that we've had, right? We saw a lot of articles come out talking about, one of them wanted experience and wanted to pay the money, and the other one wanted, inexperience, potential FC. Yeah, it's pretty clear to me who it was in between the two. Eghbali was the one that's pushing for the youth and the inexperienced managers and trying to grow and develop. And I think Todd Bowley, based on what we saw earlier on, what Matt said, in the decisions of bringing in the players that he brought in, tells me that he was probably looking to go down the route of bringing us more experience along with it. And this is the problem for me with them.
Mm-hmm.
Get potential. I have no problem with that. Yeah. I get the fact they're getting the best young stars across the world and whatever. But you have to blend it with the players for the now. We could have got Semenyo. We could have got Elise. We could have got, don't make me get me started on the list. Rafinha.
Koundé.
Yeah. There was Koundé. There was the Licks. There's all these links that we had in the past. Some were very serious. Don't forget about Victor Osimhen, who was nearly done, and then it fell through because he didn't sign on the dotted paper. So, it's just the same. It's just so frustrating because bring the potential in, but just blend it with some players for the now, so that these players that are potential can learn from the now, and then when they get to their next phase where they take over, we're in good hands. And I'll use Man United as a good example now. They're ahead of us, yeah. They're a lot. I mean, they're with Ineos. How long has it been with Ineos now? I don't even know. How long have they had them in? 2 years?
I think it's over a year and a bit. Yeah, so 2 years gone.
So in 2 years, Ineos have bought in Mbeumo, Cunha, Sesko, yeah, all players that are decent enough, like good players. And look where they are now, because they've blended it with good players like Bruno Fernandez and that, along with also not great players, but they're managing it through, and they're getting the answers that they need to this point. I know they play one game a week, but look at the way they're structuring it and moving forward with it. and how they've spent money in certain areas to bring in quality. And then look at us.
We've done it. We've already done it over the years. Our academy is known as one of the best. We used to see them, like some of them, in the cups, but they'd always still be around some experienced players. They'll be in and around that. We've done it. We know it. We know it works. We've had some great players that obviously haven't stayed at Chelsea and gone on and been great elsewhere. I mean, Ampadu, he's doing. he's doing good at Leeds. Like, we've done it before, but these guys.
The thing is, Clearlake gutted the academy for pure profit because they fucked up with their transfer dealings to make up for it. I find the whole thing really about the whole narrative about buying young, trying to have a young, exciting team. I think it's just a cover up to say they just want to buy players and just try and make profit. I think that's purely all it is.
They've not even got a front sponsor, Matt. Oh. They've not even done that. Like, how have we got
again? Their reasoning for that is because of, we want this amount of money. It's not. It's because they just can't do it because they don't know what they're doing in the commercial side of football. I think they just thought they can come in with their wad of cash and just be like, we know what we're doing and just do whatever. But I do personally think this whole narrative of we're buying young, we're trying to make an exciting team. No, you can manipulate young players. You can put them on these contracts where they might be, I don't know, in the favelas on $2,000 and all of a sudden they come to London on 50 grand. It's a ridiculous pay upgrade. So they'll go, great, we'll tie you into this massive contract. Yeah, we might make about 20 million profit. And that's it. That's all they need. Their spreadsheets and stuff will have these pure profits, and that's fine.
That's all they care about.
That's what that, and we all know that now. I think that's what's worrying is that we all know that, and even you're getting the older fans now who maybe don't have as much understanding. They're now seeing it as well. But
it's the worst. Yeah, this is the worst. God, I said this at the beginning. This is the worst. Like that. Yeah, that loss yesterday has got to be the worst loss that I have seen at home in a Champions League game ever. That was so bad. And it wasn't the fact that we just lost. I don't mind losing. You lose games. It's football, right? We always lose games. But it was the way that we lost. There was no fire. There was no mentality. We gave them goals. Even when we were behind, we were just letting them pass balls around us. We couldn't get close to them. They were running through us like we were fucking mannequins half the game. Yeah? Like it was just everything about that performance is what I just want to get Bowley and Iqbal and punch him. Yeah.
So, I've never both of you this question. If this Jen's frozen again. I'll ask you then, Chris. And
mate.
Take a screenshot of that.
He's done. He's glitching. His camera can't take any more.
That's perfect. So yeah, I'm going to ask you then, Chris. If Maresca was in charge yesterday, would we have had that capitulation that early? No, I think personally it would have been maybe 2-2, something like that.
No, I think Maresca knew the players that he had. He knew what game plan to set up on certain games, and he knew that he needed help, and he asked the board for a central defender. They promised him a central defender. They didn't get him one. He knew how to handle the team. He knew the level they were at, and he knew what to do. I think that Enzo Maresca ain't looking so bad now, is he?
No, I was quite. I mean, I was a fan of his, and I was very hesitant that he was going to get sacked because I knew once he was going to go that I knew that they were going to line up Liam. It was just obvious. It was an easy option for them. I think they had no other options as well. I know there was the likes of the ex-Marseille manager. I can't remember his name now. I can't remember. There was a few others, but it was just so obvious that they were just red herrings. They were just going for one manager, and it was easy. And the fact it took so long, and then it was just like, oh no, now Liam's all of a sudden the one. It just doesn't make sense. So what's Ange saying here? I'll go back to some of these comments actually. So Barca winning 1-0. Okay. I think there was a contractual obligation to spend 1.5 billion on players. They've done that, sneakily receiving 800 million or so. They're always trying to find loopholes like this. Someone will tell us all. Well, look, yeah, I think the summer will. What they've done is they've probably gone, right, what's the most efficient way of spending this 1.5 billion and making the quickest amount of profit or whatever as much as possible? And this is probably the way, or to make it so that there's not as much of a loss as possible. And it's probably the way they've done it. But yeah, so who we got here? So are Chelsea open to selling Enzo Fernandez? I haven't heard that this is a case yet, but then I haven't heard that he is not one of the untouchables either. So that's from Kieran Gill. Look, this could potentially, with Enzo, I've always feared this as well with Clear Lake, that this is a part of their next part of their project. What happens when one of their big stars leaves? How much profit can we make on that big star? And I think Enzo was always going to be the first anyways to go.
Yeah. What do you think
so-
of that interview last night? I know you boys had your
Yeah,
sound,
I mean,
but
I know
what do you think?
Jem's a lot more trying to see hindsight behind it.
Yeah.
I'm a bit 50-50, to be honest.
Right.
I think you don't say we'll see. That's my opinion. I don't think you say we'll see. I think if you kind of then say that the whole big part of the season, we've got this amount of games left, then fine. I just think and I agreed with everything Jem said on this, but it's just the one bit I just felt,
yeah, same with me, mate.
It's just that we'll see. That was the only bit. But let's be honest, you know, he's probably just speaking a bit truthful. Maybe he shouldn't have said what he said. But let's be honest. If it is that he does do that, like Jem said, I don't blame him if he does it. So
it's the wrong time to ask him that question. He's just been knocked out the Champions League.
That's why they do it, though, don't they? Because they're
I just think he wanted to move on from it. I don't think he wanted to fixate on it. I think it was just like, yeah, well, you know.
I think that's what Chris was alluding to, though. I think Chris, I'll let you carry on with that then, mate. What you were saying.
Yeah, no, I just think that, obviously after the game, I think journalists are going to be grabbing onto anything, and just them two words, we'll see, has allowed them to run with it. It can be seen in so many different ways.
Yeah. I think that's what Jem was saying.
That's what people do.
Yeah, I mean, because you got to think, right? He's just lost. He's probably thought, fucking hell, this fucking team, like, again. He played well in the first leg, and let's be honest, no one played well in the second leg, but we were out of it in the first 5 minutes. So he was thinking, right, I've got to preserve my energy or whatever. He's probably thinking, right, this fucking journalist is now asking about what I might do now at the end of the season. Just go, do you know what, we'll see. Like, it could even just been that, but then, like you said, Chris, people then go, we'll see. Right, thank you. Take that as a big tagline, and then that'll be create clicks. So
yeah, because Enzo hasn't said he wants to stay. He said he didn't say he's going to stay. It means he's going. He's going, guys. I've told you.
And they're saying, the day before he left Benfica, he was there kissing the badge. You know what he's like with us and kissing the badge. It's just, everyone's jumping, jumping on it. But just a quick one, boys. I just want to ask you a question. Are you concerned with the drop-off in form in 3 games for João Pedro? No. The Wrexham and 2.
No, I'm not. No, I think there's probably a drop off of form because I think everyone else is just not there to support him. He's isolated, to be honest.
So isolated.
I think, yes, maybe we were seeing elements of him holding on the ball for too long yesterday, but I don't think there's a worry. I think it's just more. I think it's more of a collective in general that we're just all playing shit. But what just worries me is the capitulation so quickly, though, in these games which have happened. And I think the Leeds game and the Burnley game have just completely destroyed our season, I think. Yeah. Those games would have then just kept us in that top 4 race. Losing to Arsenal, it's annoying, but we were probably going to lose against them anyways. But I just think it's the capitulation I panic about so much, and I don't understand why the owners don't see that as a massive red flag. But that's why Maresca said, look, we need a mixture of experience. We need these centre-backs, like you said, Chris. They don't get them. He then goes, well, you promised me this. I've not got that. Don't now question us. You're gone. It's I don't know. It's just a calamity from everywhere on the pitch to up above on the board as well.
I said last night that I think our predictions were 2-1 and 3-1. But it was 3-0. But it's the manner that we lost that game.
Yeah, I mean, this sounds awful, and I might get cooked for this in the chat. And this sounds terrible, but I'm sure a lot of us were thinking this too. I was actually hoping that they scored more, and I'm going to tell you why. I wanted it to be more goals because I wanted it to almost be at the point, and this was obviously once it was 3-0, right? We were never going to get back into this. I wanted it to get to the point that it was like a 4 or 5 to really then hammer home whilst Egg Barley and Bowley were watching. Because I mean,
8-2 is not enough on an aggregate.
Maybe I know, right? I know this is the extreme. It's got to.
No, you're right. I know what you mean.
That, I mean, that should be enough, right, Jem? That, I mean, getting knocked out at this stage and having the mistakes Jorgensen did, that's enough. They've had enough time to realise. But I think it almost needed to get of like an aggregate of 10. And that's crazy. And, you know, it's awful that I've said, you know, I hope that they scored more, but it's more to just, it's out of just like, almost just, I need some sort of change. And the only way to do that, and I think a few fans have said that, and the only way it probably will change is hopefully relegation. But I'm obviously not got to that stage. But it was bad just now. I was like, oh, hope they concede another. Because I wanted more people to leave the pit. I wanted more fans to leave too.
That was my thing on the space, yeah. That was my thing on the space yesterday. Why I went on early was the fact that I just said people should be outside. They should have left in the stadium with the PSG fans and just stood outside, just singing. You know what I mean? Singing Clear Lake out, Bowley out. That's what they should have done, in my opinion. But it's not about just doing it one game. It's about being consistent with it. These lot ain't going to take this serious. I'm telling you now. These owners, they don't give two Fs. And you know what I mean? You've got to do things to hurt them. By hurting them, you damage their pockets. You know, you don't turn up to games. You've got, and I don't know. I don't know whether it's something that's, is it 1-1? Yeah. Yeah, it's 1-1. So that's interesting. Yeah, sorry, I don't know, man. I'm just
you said you had to say something before. Sorry, man, I interrupted you. You said it as well, Jem. You said, "Oh, I've got to make an announcement or something."
Who's that?
Jem, you did. You said, "Oh, I've got to make an announcement."
Did I? No, I didn't.
Oh,
I ain't got no announcement.
I thought I'd cut you off. I thought, oh god, it's gonna be a big Jem bummer or something.
No. There's no announcement, man. There's no announcement. I'm going to go because my Wi-Fi is pissing me off.
All right, mate. That's fine. I'll carry on, Chris. It's fine.
I'll let you crack on with it. But listen, we'll be back tomorrow anyway. We've got the Everton preview or something.
Oh, fucking hell.
To talk about, I don't even want to talk about Chelsea right now. I just want to have a day break, man. I can't be dealing with it. You did, Jem. You said have something. I need to message playback. That's what I need to do. I'm going to go and do that now.
Yeah, message playback. Yeah. Let's get a meeting.
Playback, see if we can get in with ESPN and Disney and all that. That's what we're on there.
I can't say you're going to be a part of ESPN. Remember what happened yesterday, Jem? Can't be a part of ESPN.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah, we can't be. I think you were saying Enzo has just signed a bumper 20-year contract. Beautiful. That's what I want to hear. See you later. See you later, guys.
Yeah,
see you later, Jem. Take care, mate.
Do it.
But yeah, I mean, I think the whole debacle from what's happened. I mean, I know I said I'd beg for more goals, but I mean, do you honestly think there's going to be any change after what's happened yesterday?
I think the move. I said this. The owners need to be careful because what they think they're the untouchables, but what they don't realise is within the fan base they are slowly brewing a big monster, and it's going to build up to that wall and build up, and it's just going to overflood. And I think last night was another big shift in that rising up to that wall. It's going to be interesting to see what the protest is going to do and when that's going to be. It is something that I would like to go to because I've seen the last two protests on snippets of videos, and everyone's making their thoughts known on that. I want to go there, and one, I want to show my support to the club, but two, I want to go and get a census of how everyone's feeling and how big it is. I think it's going to be the biggest one. I don't think it's going to be big, but
yeah, I think the momentum hopefully is there, because I think, like I was saying earlier, that I think match-going fans, especially the older fans, obviously the ones who aren't on social media, you're hearing a lot more now that we're all on the same hymn sheet, that we're all very much saying about clearly their model is wrong. And hopefully, I think you're right. I don't think anything's going to get to the Super League level ever. I don't think so. But I think you're right. Hopefully, there's going to be a bit more of a momentum. But I think it's a cliche way of saying this, but I think the only way you're going to make a difference is by not going. But the problem is we're never going to get to a level of Lazio and what they've done, where 2,000 fans turn up, because you've got the likes of me who is waiting to get a ticket, can't get a ticket, and all of a sudden one comes available. You click it, and then you're like, oh, I'm going to a game, because you're not a member or whatever. And you'll get tourists will do the same. I know there's people like Charlie have said about kind of planning to leave the stadium at certain times and then come back, or do what Strasbourg have done, where the first 15 minutes they're not there. But I think at the end of the day, even if you still do that, they don't care because the ticket's paid for, or we can do the mighty tennis balls and throwing them on the pitch. I don't know.
I mean, I spoke to one of my old managers. He's a good friend of mine. He's 70, and if we were playing good, bad, ugly, or whatever, I'll say, Paul, I'm going to go. I've had enough. He would stay towards the end, no matter what the game was at all. No matter how bad it was, he would stay. I messaged him about the game last night and said, I hope he was all right up there. He didn't even go. He didn't go. And that honestly, that really shocked me. That's how big it's got. And that's one of the older generation that we're talking about that, maybe, not being able to be involved in what we're saying on social media and getting to know how they feel. But also we've got to remember that these guys, the older generation, they've been through a Chelsea that's been, the lower leagues and coming up and going through stadium rebuilds and issues. And so they've been there and done it. But obviously it's not on this scale now because we've got the whole world of social media and the circus that's being created.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, like Toby, I know that I think in their agenda, they said about these chants. Unfortunately, what happens, you're going to get youngsters, and I know we've got younger fans who are a part of this, but naturally they're there to get their little social media thing. Oh, fuck off, guys, whatever. They're there for a little laugh. They don't see it seriously. But I think with these sort of protests, there has to be, again, it's always the same. It's consistency and numbers. And there's just, I think, as we all know, you've got to hurt their pockets, but they'll figure out a way to make money another way. So, but I think you're right. Yeah, no Lampard or Tottenham chance. What's this, Matt? You ever got told? Yeah, no. When I was younger, I looked identical to Frank. When I was younger, I looked identical to Frank Lampard. That's why he's my favourite player of all time. So when I was a kid, I looked identical to him.
Yeah, no, you do, man.
Yeah. So I wish I played it him as well. So every Chelsea shirt I had, everything I say it had Lampard.
I'd rather look like Lampard than Jorgensen, mate.
No. No. Well, he's gone missing as well. I don't know what's happened to him. He's just gone completely missing. Apparently, he's got an injury. I doubt it. What's this, Waldo? So we literally had a 50-year-old fan of Sky Sports crying. That's how low. Yeah, I mean, the whole thing with Sky Sports as well. Like their engagement farming, all they're doing, they're becoming like a talk sport. They will dangle the carrot to gaslight to make fans rage to then do whatever. But yeah, it's not great to see that at all. People may think, look, we deserve it because of what's happened under the Abramovich era. We had it all. You got to go through the highs and lows. I mean, look, my dad was a season ticket holder. I was a season ticket holder with him at Portsmouth. Look at the turmoil as a Portsmouth fan with my dad. Like, they went through administration. They got nearly liquidated as a club. But us fans, I mean, I don't know how old you are, Chris, but like, I'm 32. I don't know how old you are, but
35.
So we're very similar age. We've been very much in from even Ranieri, 2003. We've not known any difference. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't be allowed to not react a certain way or expect. We've been patient as well, and so if there's fans saying, oh, you should be supporting no matter what, granted, yes, I get that, but at the same time, we are allowed to have standards. We are allowed to be annoyed, and I think we've been more than patient with this ownership too.
I mean, Carve the other day was on a show basically saying that Chelsea fans feel they're entitled to success. And I think that we, as a fan base, was sort of allowing the tough transition that we were trying to get over from Roman to the new ownership and seeing how everything was going. I mean, it was going up and down like a yo-yo. But to be almost 5 years in and see the state we're in now, yeah, we should be, because I don't ever remember a time, I don't know if you could tell me, Matt, that where an owner has partied with the club, not out of...
I think it's unprecedented, really.
It is. It's always been because the owner's been pushed out by the fans, or he's been in trouble when he's had to be forced to sell up his club football related.
He runs out of finances. That's what happens.
Yeah.
It gets to the point that they run out of finances and they can't do anything, and then that's when it's like a Sheffield Wednesday or a Reading or even Portsmouth, for instance. Like it's I've never seen it when it's such a large scale club, especially at Chelsea and their pomp, where I don't know, in England, what, top 3? Like it's unprecedented. Sorry, someone said something about Pies said something on. I can't see it on there. So Pies Twitter, Esther, what you're saying? Pies Twitter is senior about to get sacked. Oh, question mark. I don't know. I haven't seen that. I'm looking on it now. The only thing I've got is the brief from Kieran Gill saying, yeah, don't know. Not sure about that. So GT said that you look like Pete Durham from Green Street.
Which one's that? Which one's Pete Durham?
Is he the main character? Hang on, let's have a look. The one where he's got the worst Cockney accent or something. No. Yeah, you're the main character. I'd be taking that, mate.
Oh, yeah.
Fair play.
Mate, you wait till I tell my missus that.
I'll tell you what. She'll be well happy with that.
Matt, just a quick word on the huddle last night. They moved it over a little bit. What did you think on that?
I thought we weren't doing a huddle apparently, and then all of a sudden we were. So obviously worked because obviously first 5 minutes we conceded. I felt first Saar. Problem is he's 19, getting in a massive game. Like, I don't know what people expect. Like, I know it was a silly mistake.
Well, according to Rossini, he put him in because he's done it already. He's played him in that role already. He's played against PSG. It's one of those freak things. It's one of those freak things. And you know what's really annoying as well? The PSG goalkeeper, he actually done all right last night.
I know.
Floppy, and
he was
so
floppy at the start, and then out of nowhere he was saving. So, that Esteval guy was lying. Oh, damn you, Esteval William. Right, what we got here, Jimmy Blue. I'm so glad we still have such a great friendly fan base that can chat together regularly. Honestly, it helps more than people think. We're at the heart and soul of Chelsea. These owners will got. Yeah, look, that's why I'm here. I'm here to help provide escapism for people. We're all here together. It's all like a joint therapy session. So that's why, it's nice that Chris can come on. But if you guys want to come up on stage as well and have your say, please do, and vent out, because let's be honest, it's better to let it out than hold it in. So what's that? Yeah, not seeing. Okay, cool. Thanks, guys.
That's one thing. The owners, the managers, the players, the backroom staff will change. The one thing that will never change is that we're Chelsea Football Club and fans will be there for eternity. Right? It might be not us, but our generations. And that's one thing I don't want to lose either. The generations through families. Because who's going to want to grow up and support this at the moment?
Well, they will be forced.
Exactly that. They might be forced, but the day and age that we're in now, they let their children do anything and don't want to hurt their feelings and stuff. So they might be like, okay, you choose whoever you want. But yeah, no, that wouldn't happen in my household, I'll tell you.
Oh shit. Matt, I can't believe this is an Arsenal fan, Matt. I can't believe you're here.
Oh, mate, I've seen him before. Yeah, he loves this guy.
Oh, jeez.
Do you know what though? Just going back to AFC, Matt. My father-in-law is an Arsenal fan. I was having a brief discussion, and he said, we've had to go through it for 20 years, whilst you guys are going through it now. But for some reason, I don't think they went through it as bad. Is it just me, or
they?
And also because they're building stadium.
When they were under, obviously Matt would know this more than me, but under the Cronkies, they weren't spending money, and they were in that position we're in now. So, they're in the same position, kind of what we're in now. Whereas I think with us, we've just spent so much money, and it's so obvious what we're doing as well. And I think that's what's the annoying thing. And we all know we get gaslit with the briefs. We just all know what's happening. It's like I tweeted yesterday saying like, the briefs they're going to come out with now, and it's like mayhem because they're trying to just figure out what other thing to go with. But I was at 2-2 now, the Newcastle game. Oh, it sounds like a good game. So annoying that it's on at 5:45 though.
And it's only Spain.
Yeah, that's weird.
Have you seen the recent Chelsea Dodgers that's come from Kieran Gill about Enzo Fernandez?
Let me just get it up.
Basically, just again, it's just putting that other bit on the end of the sentence. It's it's basically saying that he hasn't heard this is the case of Enzo Fernandez going, but then I haven't heard he's one of their untouchables either. So he's throwing a 50-50 shade on that. He's putting that right.
Let me just get this up. Yeah, I mean, look, I know Jem obviously had his say on it. I mean, like I said to you, I think it's something that do we just see it as a comment? It's just like, okay, I'm just trying to get on in the conversation, but it's one of those one of those words where it's just like there can be a lot of weight to what you've just said, but I think we all knew, guys, to be honest, this was going to happen eventually. That, you know, if it was going to be last season or this season, we were lucky that we got Champions League. And then that kind of then got, you know, the can got kicked down the road a bit further. But the kind of look of like the inevitability that we might even get Europa League or even Europa Conference. You're naturally going to see this. In my eyes, though, I just can't see anyone coughing up the money to do it. The only way I see him, if he is to go, and I'm not trying to do a villainize him or anything, is what he'll do, what he did when he was at Benfica, and potentially hand in a transfer request. But look, at the same time, though, you've still got to cough up the money to do it, and I don't see Madrid doing that. Toby's saying Pies. What's Pies just come out with? I don't see Madrid paying for him.
No, and also I think that if these untouchables, so-called untouchables, go, what does that tell you? That the project isn't working. They've been promised that the project's going to take 3-4 years. It hasn't. It's going to be taking a lot longer.
Big. Hang on. I'll just sort of talk about this. So Pies just come out with this. It says exclusive from Fabrizio here. I can reveal that Enzo and Chelsea have been talking for some months over new contract details. There's no agreement or solutions found yet. This means that if this continues and no agreement can be found on new terms, Enzo would be open to exploring leaving Chelsea. These comments from Enzo all started due to no agreement yet being behind the scenes over fresh new salary terms. Chelsea are in control over the situation and will not give any discount on the price. So it's all over extending contract terms, and he's probably wanting more money, and
that's why he said we'll see.
Deserved. So there we have it, guys. It's a Pies exclusive from Fabrizio there. I think what we were just saying, though, Chris, look, Chelsea are in control. You go on those sort of contracts, those prison contracts, you're going to be having to ask him for a lot of money. If we are needing to let him go because he just doesn't want to be here, you know, I don't blame him, to be honest, but I just can't see Madrid coughing up 100+ million for him.
No, I don't think. He's been linked with PSG as well. I think he'd suit PSG quite well.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying this to Jem. I mean, to me, if I was a player in his position, would you go, right, I'll spend a few years at PSG? I mean, how old is Enzo? 20? How old
is he 25?
How old is he? He's 25, right? Okay, so with that in mind, would you spend, I don't know, 3 years at PSG, get that again continuously every year, playing in a Champions League, to then get your opportunity to go to Madrid, probably for a cut price? Or do you try and push for that move now? If I was him, I'd maybe, like you said, go to PSG if I was him. But I don't think
get that move now.
I don't think that's a step up.
No. It's, if you want to win the Champions League, yeah, you've got a good chance. I mean, you're guaranteed to win Liga because there's no debate over that. You probably get paid well. You play around some great players, but there's been links with him at Madrid, and there's somewhere on X today as well that I heard that he would explore a potential move to Spain. Now, if it's Spain, we know it's going to be Real Madrid. Of course it is.
So they're saying here, I don't know if this is right, but Fernandez is on 180 grand. Can anyone else confirm that? Oh, I'll zoom in. Sorry, Ange. Yeah, let me zoom in. Can anyone confirm what salary Enzo Fernandez is on? Because I'm looking, it says 180 grand, but I thought he was on a bit more than that. But
well, it could be that could be before tax, but it says here he's on around 139.
I mean, if you think about it, he and this is where, again, the model.
Oh no, 180 grand a week. It says.
So he's on 180, right? So look, that's top for as the model goes. But I hear as well, even with Reece, that he accepted a lower salary on this new contract.
Yeah, he's gone into like the proper structure now, isn't he?
So, but to me, I mean, this was always going to happen, whether it was a Palmer when he was on his incredible run, and then he was going to ask for, I don't know, 250 grand or whatever, and then they were going to go, not sure. This was always going to happen because our star players will get their targets, getting your, I don't know, top 4, winning the Club World Cup, all these sort of things under these conditions, with some of the players they have to play with as well, to then not get the salary they want. It's going to make, naturally, you've got to think at the end of the day, they're not Chelsea fans. This is like it's a short career as well. And let's be honest, Enzo's given a lot to this club, so he does deserve it. And again, this is just so typical how they'll spin this brief out. They'll do what they did with Mason Mount. They do what they did with even Chalobah, where they said, they kicked him out on the curb and said, you've got to go in the reserves, sent him on loan and said, oh, can you come back? They'll try and spin this now. But to say that Chelsea are in control over the situation and will not give any discount on the price, I mean, yeah.
we're only in control of the situation because of the length of contract we've got them under.
Well, yeah, probably. That's the only control they have.
But why would you want a player, no matter who it is, why would you want a player that doesn't want to play for you?
But that's what they'll do, though, Chris. They'll twist it and then they'll villainize. And then what you'll find is that people will naturally go, and quite rightly will go, well, if you don't want to be here, don't be here. But it's not as easy as that. It's not as simple as that.
No.
He's unfortunately, he signed this contract. And this is where it could go in our face, because you do sign these contracts. And yes, it's great for security. But then from club morale point of view, you've got players in the club you can't fucking leave, like a Disassi or whatever. They're going to cause issues. What, you're going to send Enzo into the bomb squad?
Yeah, exactly. This bomb squad, look at Raheem Sterling. Look how long it took for him to go.
Yeah, poor him on 350 grand a week. What do you reckon he wants? I reckon he probably wants I think what you said here, Toby, maybe around like just over 200, 225, like Toby said, something like that. Maybe, I don't know. I mean,
performance, more incentives probably as well.
But again, this is where their model is just going to get exposed, because you want to keep these players, and this is always going to happen. But if you're not showing ambition by making sure you're making this money, by getting higher up the league, guaranteeing Champions League, getting the club revenue of sponsorship by winning, I don't know, the Premier League or whatever, you're going to be in this situation where these players are going to go, well, I want more money if you want me to stay, otherwise I'm going to go. And then they're going to go, well, we don't have the money because we don't have the revenue coming in. That it all stems back to, I mean, it was really good. So Nini on Blue Lions TV, really good analogy, and I really thought it was good. The football players and the manager are the symptoms to the disease, which is Blueco. And I quite like that. I thought it was really good. So Blueco are the disease, but we keep talking about the symptoms, but we're not talking about how to treat the disease.
Yeah, exactly. So, they're the poster boys for the club, aren't they? I read something earlier as well about all the players and staff and the club are behind Liam Rossini. Yeah, they are behind him because they know that whenever anything goes wrong, at the moment Liam's going to be blamed. Poor performance, selection. He's going to be under the cosh for it.
We can talk a little bit about Liam. Just before that, I'll say, look, just gone forward in time, and I see Enzo in Real Madrid shirt and Sam and Morgan Rogers. Oh, well, that's not going away, is it? But yeah, I can see Enzo fitting in very well. I think, like Waldo said, at Madrid, massively. Yeah. So yeah, but I think going on to like Liam as well. I mean, some of the what he said yesterday about. I think he said, "Oh, yes, I understand the fans were unhappy, but the players ran their socks off. They didn't. Like you're getting into like Potter."
I was going to say that whole thing gave me Potter vibes. I want to say thanks to the fans for showing their support to the team. What are you on about? There was nothing to support.
No,
Terrible.
absolutely not. GT, yeah, Jem should be paying me that. Absolutely. You should be paying me that. Yeah, Toby, I'll get that post up in a second, mate. Robert is a virus that you catch when you have a disease. Yeah, look, don't listen to Robert. Robert's in it for one reason, and that's just engagement. He likes to be controversial. Unfortunately, he's been given a platform on other channels. That's why I don't really want to listen to it, because I want to listen to all the other people who are on there. But once Robert goes on, I switch off, just because I can't listen to him anymore. I think he says things for the sake of it. Regardless, even if we get relegated, he'll still say something else. What are you saying here, Matt? If it sounds harsh, so be it. I think Rossini being a Chelsea manager is a disgrace. Matt, I can't believe I'm agreeing with an Arsenal fan. You're totally right. And we all know it. We think that, yeah, exactly. Rossini is a disgrace. And this is difficult. Look, I think, like we said at the start, it's difficult because we all know that he didn't really want to. I think he wanted to stay at Strasbourg.
Yeah, the plan wasn't to get him in this early, was it?
No, I think he was cooking at Strasbourg, and I think he probably was actually at a point he could go on a bit more, maybe get a Prem, but not at Chelsea. I think he got forced. I think he pretty much said, look, you got to take a job. I could see him actually going back to Strasbourg at the end of the season, though. If I don't know about Gary O'Neill, maybe do a straight swap. We'll see. Garnacho was told by Rossini in the 84th minute. Yeah, that, like I said, seeing those sort of things where you're writing on a piece of paper, it's like, it's 8-2. You got 5 minutes. Like,
it's giving you David Brent vibes, isn't it? It's just
it certainly is. But yeah, I don't know if you've got anything else to say at all, Chris. But...
Yeah, I mean, you really. I think that Matt, obviously, we've gone through a difficult night last night. We're going through a difficult period. Something needs to change. Will they finally, because Liam Rossini done an interview the other day, and he sort of they're jumping on it. He sort of alluded to, wait till the summer when it comes to experience. Is this? Do we have to hang our hat on that every summer we need experience? Is it going to be the time where they've woken up last night and been like, right, let's just get a little bit of this in, or do we need a new manager change? Owner, everything?
I would like to, again, is it copium or hopium? Maybe, but I would like to think that last night, with them all being there and the noise around, through media, etc., that they're finally going to have to change something. Will it happen? I doubt it. I think they're stuck in their ways, and they've got their figureheads above going, we're making profits and whatever. This is great. But then you're seeing all the other sides with all the record losses they're making, etc. The only time they'll change, it's not going to be the results on the pitch. It's when that checkbook starts going into the red, in my opinion. And that's when you're going to see a change. And whether that is, I don't know. I think at that point it's going to be too late. I think star players will leave. And then I think what will then happen is they'll start to sell assets, and then they'll try and shut up shop and go. That I don't think in the summer anything will really change. I think the whole summer we're going to have a debacle about who's going to be our manager. The manager will come in with probably a week's pre-season, won't have enough time to set up what he would like to do in his system. We go early into the season, then we'll all say, look, they're learning a new system, bloody blah, and then it'll be the same cycle over. That's what I think.
So what we're saying is basically it's going to get worse for Chelsea Football.
I think it will get worse. I would, like I said earlier, I would love to think, and this would be a great scenario for me, that if Bowley was able to take somewhat of a portion and take the lead, but it won't happen because I think Egbali is just a very stubborn, arrogant billionaire who will not
freak.
I just think he just can't he can't face it if someone challenges him, says that he's wrong. Look, these billionaires are ruthless people. They'll take sacrifices along the way to try and get their point across. But maybe, I mean, I would be happy if the sporting directors went, and it meant that we then saw a slight direction. If we start seeing that, then I'll be like, okay, but I just can't see it. I think we would have seen it already, to be honest, Chris.
Yeah,
we hit loads a long time ago. I think with the whole Pochettino thing, they had a massive dossier for the reason why he needed to join. season. They literally at the end of the season, because Pochettino said we needed height in the midfield, we need experience. He then parted ways amicably, apparently, or mutually. That was a point to let the owners go. The sporting directors go, because they were the ones who were saying, this is our man. We wanted him before Potter or whatever. They didn't get him. And then, I mean, Toby's saying, can we get UEFA to ban us? I think that's probably the only way. But I don't know. What do you think then, Chris, about that?
What about the whole where Chelsea are going to go?
What do you think? So in the summer. So if you think in the summer, do you think we'll be in a situation where it's just going to be the same thing, or do you believe? I mean, I'm sure at the end of the season we'll do a big review show, but how do you see it happening? Do you see the sporting directors and Egg Barley still being here?
I think they're not going to change their model. They're not going to budge. I think you're absolutely right on that. And I think when you want to buy experienced players and experienced players that want to be at a level that Chelsea can be at, that comes with wages being probably over 200k, and they won't want to do that. I mean, if you got some of them on a free, like Rudiger's available on a free, surely that's got to balance it out somewhere. I want to. It's hard to try and imagine the summer, because if I'm talking about the summer, I'm still talking about this umbrella of Blueco, and I don't want it. I don't want Blueco in here. I want us to be able to get back to the Chelsea that we were under a more safer structure that's just going to take us forward in the right direction. Like the Premier League, we need to be still talking up the top of the table. We really do. Like we're becoming a laughing stock. We're getting worse, and it's got to be nothing but to move on. But we're still going to be stuck in this, I think, in the summer, Matt. If I'm honest, I think we're going to be going back through this. Obviously, we've got Quenda coming through the door, Omega, Penders, so they're already under the umbrella, and they're going to probably think, oh, this will keep the fans ticking over. But it won't. It's just a continuous cycle.
Yeah, no, I agree. And, again, expecting miracles from Quenda, it's the same as Esteval. Omega, he seems to be very off at Strasbourg. It's just going to be pointless, but anything's better than what we've got with Delap at the moment. Penders, again, seems, to be doing all right at Strasbourg, but again, it's not, something that I would be wanting him straight away. But maybe the situation with Sanchez, it might mean he'll move on. It's just, there's so many ways that this can go, and that just shows how chaotic it is above. The fact that we're trying to guess everything, it just, I think it just shows how awful I think it's going to carry on, unfortunately.
Is it going to take us to do a Tottenham, do you think, for them to go? I don't want to think about it. I promise you.
I mean, I think obviously position-wise, when we're under Potter, it was pretty bad. But I think how we all left it, because we're like, okay, it's still really early on. This is just obviously a bad moment. Would it take it to a Tottenham? I think it probably would, to be honest. I think for protest to get to a certain level, yes. Because I think if it started getting to that, then yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, look, I'm not a fan of Tottenham at all, but it must be fucking awful. Like, with watching what they're watching and being in that situation. But it is what it is. It'll probably be the time that, knowing us this year with Rafinha, that Tottenham will actually beat us. Toby's saying here, what was meant to say, can UEFA please put a ban on us being able to use Strasbourg to port over players and managers? Fed up of just using their players as a cheap, easy way of buying. Yeah, I've never been a fan of the multi-club model. I'm only all right with it whether it's like bringing one player through, whether it was like a Sesko or like, I know Xavi Simons hasn't done great, but when he went to Leipzig, etc. But yeah, I don't like what we've done there. I mean, they've done the same with Strasbourg as well. I don't understand how owners don't get investigated for what they're doing and trying to, they basically are cheating the system. But anyways,
who was our old one? Viti, was it Viti? Who was it? Our old one we used to have under like an umbrella that we sent players on loan to.
Oh, Mount went there, didn't he? Vitis. Is it Vitis or something?
Yeah, Vitis something. Yeah. Did we get anyone from them? I think we just literally used them to get game time for some of our young players. Was it Vitis Artem or something?
It's the SBV Vitis, they're called.
Yeah. We never got any of them players in. Could you imagine that? Blimey.
I know. But look, we've been on for an hour and a half, everyone. So we'll probably leave it there because otherwise we're just going to go over the same stuff and feel more and more depressed. But thank you, everyone, for joining today. We are probably, Wednesday. We've got, hopefully, we'll try and do like another Chelsea talk tomorrow, maybe, if there's more news. We'll keep you posted. And then obviously we've got the match preview on Saturday for Everton, which I'm not looking forward to. But hopefully everyone can have a good evening. Quickly show the post I sent you, Matt. Okay, hang on, Toby.
What's he said?
Oh, cool. Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think also just during this time, Matt, everyone's got their own thoughts and their own narratives on how Chelsea's being run, and they're being told by other people, you shouldn't be thinking like this, you shouldn't be thinking like that. You think how you want to think. The club's a mess.
No,
our emotions are a mess.
There's, I find if there's anyone who's got a large platform and they try and tell you how to support a club, you do what you feel's best for you, and what if you've got an opinion, whether it's we should support the team no matter what, or support the club. Absolutely, that's your opinion. If people feel they want to walk out and they want to walk out, absolutely. I think you're absolutely right there, Chris. People have their own opinions on things, and they should be allowed it as well. No one, regardless of how large your following is, or if you're like me and you've got a couple hundred, you're a Chelsea fan at the end of the day. You're allowed to have your own opinion, and everyone's opinions are valid to some extent, as long as you agree with me. No. So Toby's just put this, being really harsh. We've wasted 694 million of the money spent. This doesn't include KDH, who did a decent job for us. Yeah, it does include Wesley Fofana, includes Garnacho, but I still think there are players. I still think there's a player there, best in class sporting directors. 700 million wasted. No one wastes money like this. I mean, look, if you look at this. Sterling 45 million, Koulibaly 35, Aubameyang 8 million, which actually I thought was not unfair because I thought Aubameyang, he could have done something. Datro Fofana 12. See, these are the ones here. These are where they're trying to do the pure profit.
This is where it starts dropping off, isn't it?
Do the flips. Mudryk 62 million. Well, look, AFC Matt will know this, that we only pretty much got him because you were wanting him. So typical. Felix, we were just doing what's his name? A favour. Gittins, a joke, 48 million. Washington, I forgot about Washington, 17 million. So we're starting to go South America now and go to Brazil here.
Angelo,
17 million. It was supposed to be a massive profit, and then we profit for the club, and then he left. Vega, that was a joke. Cassidy, God, remember Cassidy, the next Ballack. Dasassi, disastrous. Badia Shield is Badia shite. Tosin, let's say no more. Jorgensen, well, look, 21 million. And I remember when he left, everyone was like, geez, he's an awful player. Slalina, again, one of those typical quick flip players, 12 million. What's he done? Garnacho, 40 million. Again, no one wanted him. We somehow wanted him. Delap, 30 million, a joke. Asugo, 18 million. That's not bad. I mean, he's been injured, but he's probably due a loan.
There's a player there for sure.
There is certainly a player there. Mark Yu, 5 million. Again, look, that's a player where it was an opportunity. Carney Chukwuemeka, again, was an opportunity where we thought we could try and profit and flip him for money. Ugachukwu, I felt, was just very unlucky. We were just stacked in that area. I think there was massive potential there, but just wrong player at the wrong time. But 23 million. Nkunku, that was a player I thought was actually going to do quite well for us, and that was under Bowley. And you can see when we bought players under Bowley, if you look, Sterling was Bowley, so he was experienced Prem. Koulibaly, experience, that was Bowley as well. Aubameyang, experience. Not sure if Fofana, I think this was January. So these were your three players in Bowley, and then Nkunku was Bowley.
Are we talking about David Datro Fofana or Wesley?
That's Datro Fofana there.
I think he was
but
under
if you
Bowley.
Look at the levels of fees, and I'm saying this, if you look at the level of fees, when it's under Bowley, this was Bowley, 69 million. Nkunku, I think that was pre-agreement. So I don't know if that was before if it was under Abramovich or because that was pre-agreement in January, we got in Nkunku. So maybe, I don't know. I think that was maybe, that was under Abramovich still. That okay. Sterling 45 million, Koulibaly. So if you actually look, the players, barring Disasi and Garnacho and stuff, they're all actually no. There's some no. Ignore my point there. It's shambolic all through essentially, barring I think Koulibaly etc. But Fofana 69 million is a joke. But yeah,
34 million.
Yeah.
How's he got a song, by the way?
Well, because at the time, wasn't it? So 34 million. But again, this is what happens when you try to buy young and then they plateau because they get put into the team immediately, then they don't play well, and then they kind of then plateau into a certain performance. And it's like you're telling me that when Badiashile was kind of, I think, partnering with Thiago Silva, that he was actually that's when he was good. No. Funny that when you've got experience. I mean, I know Thiago Silva was a Rolls Royce, but yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, thanks Toby for sharing that.
Yeah, they look literally. There looks like there's no structure or strategy to any of those signings whatsoever.
You're absolutely right, Chris.
On a football pitch wise. Yeah,
there isn't. It's scattergun. That to me goes Mudryk. Oh well, Arsenal wanted him. Yeah, let's go for him. A lot of these signings like Cassidy. Oh well, big clubs like Barcelona and stuff, they wanted him, so we must go for him because he's young. You know, there's nothing, like you said, there's no strategy in terms of thinking actually what will really fit the team. Fofana, we went for you because we couldn't get Koundé. So yeah, I don't know, but Toby's the whiz kid when it comes to finding stats and stuff like that. But
look,
everyone, we're gonna head off now. It's been 1 hour and 40 minutes, so thank you everyone for joining. Like I said, hopefully maybe tomorrow we'll have some sort of a session. If Chris wants to join again, please do. And then we'll just go from there. But we'll see everyone later. Up the Chelsea.
Yeah, guys, take care.